Hi, students. Look around. You can see plenty of objects. Think of the objects that you can see around and you can write in groups as living and non living. So, there are certain characteristics that make living beings very different from non living things. You can see animals around us and non living things like chair, table, stone, coin, etc. You can see. How do we know that something is living? Often it is not easy to decide, but we have some important characteristics that tells us certain things are living and certain things are non living. So today we are going to study about the lesson habitats and the living organisms. So, what are the characteristics, common characteristics you can find in the living thing? The first one is they need food so that they grow. In chapters 1 and 2, we learned that all living things need food and how essential it is to animals and to us. We have also learned that plants make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Animals depend on plants or other animals for their food. The food gives organisms the energy needed for them to grow. So, does the kurta you had 4 years back still fit you? You must have grown taller during these years. So, you may not realize it, but you are growing all the time, and in few more years, you will become an adult. Plants also grow. Look around you and see a few plants, a particular type. Some are very small and young, some are bigger. They may all be in different stages of growth. Young ones of animals also grow into adults. You would surely have noticed pups grow into adults. A chick hatched from an egg grows into a hen or a cock. Now, the next character is respiration. Can we live without breathing? When we inhale, the air moves from outside to the inside of our body. When we breathe out, the air moves from inside our body to outside. So, breathing is part of a process called respiration. In respiration, some of the oxygen of the air we breathe in is used by the body. We breathe out carbon dioxide produced in this process. So, like human beings, plants and animals also breathe. Now, the next character is we respond to stimuli. How do you respond if you suddenly step on a sharp object like a thorn while walking barefoot? How do you feel when you see or think about your favorite food? You suddenly move from dark place into bright sunlight. What happens? Your eyes shut themselves automatically for a moment till they adjust to the changed bright surroundings. So, all of us respond immediately to some changes. The changes in our surroundings that makes us respond to them are called stimuli. Do other animals also respond to stimuli? Observe the behavior of animals when food is served to them. Can you give some more examples of responses of animals to stimuli? Do plants respond to stimuli? The flowers of some plants bloom only at night. In some plants, flowers close after sunset. In some plants like mimosa, commonly known as touch-me-not plant, the leaves close or fold when someone touches them. These are some examples of responses of plants towards changes in their surroundings. Now here the plants grow towards the light. So this also a response to stimuli. Now the next one is excretion. All organisms need food. Not all the food that is eaten is completely used. Only a part of it is utilized by the body. What happens to the rest? This has to be removed from the body as waste. Our body produces some waste in other life process also. The process of getting rid of waste by organisms is known as excretion. Do plants excrete? They do, but not as seen in animals. Some plants they find it possible to store the waste products within their parts in a way that they do not harm the plants as a whole. So, excretion is another characteristics of living thing. The next character is reproduction. Animals reproduce their own kind. The mode of reproduction may be different in different animals. Some animals produce their young ones through eggs. Some animals give birth to the young ones. Plants also reproduce like animals. Plants also differ in their mode of reproduction. Many plants reproduce through seeds. Plants produce seeds which can germinate and grow into new plants. And do all organisms move? Yes. Most of the organisms, for example, animals, birds, and insects, they move from one place to another. But the plants stay in same place and then they show the movement by shaking their leaves, otherwise opening and closing, moving, growing towards the light. So these are the different characteristics of living things. So the different characters are they grow, they need food, they respire, they respond to stimuli, they move, they excrete, they reproduce. Now, a variety of organisms are found at different places. Each organism lives in a particular area where it finds food and other resources it needs to survive. Now, let us learn more about these areas and the animals that live there. The presence of specific features some animals, all the animals, birds, they live in a particular area. So that place around it is called the habitat. So to any organisms live in a particular area, they need some things, some factors they need. So these factors are called abiotic factors and biotic factors. So abiotic factors are air, water, light, soil, temperature. So these things we get from the environment. The biotic factors are plants and animals. So these plants and animals live the specific areas. So the presence of specific features or certain habits which enable an organism to live naturally in a place is called adaptation. So adaptation of organisms differ depending on their place of dwelling. So what is meant by dwelling? The place where organism live is called the habitat. So the habitat means a dwelling place. The habitat provides food, water, air, shelter and other needs to organisms. The several kinds of plants and animals live in the same habitat. So the different habitats are terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. The terrestrial habitats are desert, mountain, grassland and forest. Aquatic habitats are fresh water, that means river, ponds, salt water like ocean and seas. So here the pond, lake, river are fresh water, salt water, seas and ocean. So now let's see how different animals are adapted to live in a particular area. Let's see, the first one is the desert area. The desert is it's a place where the place is due to hot and humid. So the animal which live in that place, common example is camel. So what are the adaptation does a camel has? Camel has undergone the following adaptations. The first one is camels have long legs and broad sole which survive their bodies from the heat of the sand. Their hoofs are soft so they can walk easily on sand. They do not sweat. They excrete small amount of urine. Their dung is dry. And then they lose very little water from their bodies. They can live for many days without water and food. Excess fat in their body is stored in hump on their back. When required, they can use the stored fat and get energy. So these are the adaptations of camel so that the camel lives in that particular area. Now let's see the adaptations of the plants that grow in the desert. The common plant is cactus. The desert plants have well developed roots that go very deep into the soil for absorbing water. The leaves in desert plants are very small, less in number, or they are transformed into spines. This helps in reducing loss of water. The spines in desert plants protect them from animals. Photosynthesis in these plants is usually carried out by the stems. So only the cactus plant stems are thick and fleshy because they store water and food there. The stem is also covered with a thick waxy layer which helps them to retain water. Now the next one is the mountain region. So the mountain region, these habitats are normally very cold and windy. In some areas, snowfall may take place in winters. There is a large variety of plants and animals living in the mountain regions. Have you seen the kind of trees shown? If you live in a mountain region or have visited one, you may have seen a large number of such trees. The trees are normally cone shaped. They have the sloping branches. The leaves of some of these trees are needle like. This helps the rainwater and snow to slide off easily. There could be trees with shapes very different from these that are also present on mountains. They may have different kind of adaptations to survive on the mountains. The animals living on the mountain region also adapted to the conditions there. They have thick skin or fur to protect them from cold. For example, yaks have long hair to keep them warm. Snow leopard has thick fur on its body, including feet and toes. This protects its feet from the cold when it walks on the snow. The mountain goat has strong hooves for running up the rocky slopes of the mountains. As we go up in the mountainous region, the surroundings changes and we see different kinds of adaptations at different heights. Now the next one is the grassland. A lion lives in a forest or a grassland and is a strong animal that can hunt and kill animals like deer. It is light brown in color. Look at the picture of the lion and that of deer. How are these eyes placed in the face for these two animals? Are they in front or on the side of the face? Lions have long claws in their front legs that can be withdrawn inside the toes. Do the features of lion help it in any way to survive? It is light brown color, helps it to hide in dry grasslands when it hunts for prey. The eyes in front of the face allow it to have a correct idea about the location of its prey. A deer is another example that lives in the animals that lives in forest and grassland. So what are the adaptations does this deer possess? It has strong teeth for chewing hard plant stems of the forest. A deer needs to know about the presence of predators in order to run away from them and not become their prey. It has long ears to hear movements of predators. The eyes on the sides of its head allow it to look in all directions for danger. The speed of the deer helps them to run away from the predators. Now let's see the aquatic habitats. We already discussed how fish are adapted to live in the sea. There are some animals like squids and octopus which do not have this streamlined shape. They stay deeper in the ocean near the seabed and catch and prey that moves towards them. However, when they move in water, they make their body shape streamlined. These animals have gills to help them use oxygen dissolved in water. There are sea animals like dolphins and whales that do not have gills. They breathe in air through nostrils or blowholes that are located on the upper parts of their heads. This allows them to breathe in air when they swim near the surface of water. They can stay inside the water for a long time without breathing. They come out to the surface from time to time to breathe in air. Did you ever see this interesting activity of dolphins in television program or films on ocean life? Now, you know that the fish is having the various adaptations of, they have fins, gills, and the lateral fins and tail. So these adaptations help fish to live in the in the sea. They have the streamlined shape, then the slippery scales on their bodies that protect the fish. Gills present in the fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. Fish have flat fins and tails that help them to change directions and keep their body balanced in water. So if you see the aquatic plants, the plants live in water, they have the adaptations of their roots are much reduced in size and their main function is to hold the plant in place. The stems of these plants are long, hollow and light. The stem grows up to the surface of the water. The leaves and flowers of these plants float on the surface of water. Some aquatic plants are totally submerged in water, means whole plant is inside the water. Some of these plants have narrow and thin ribbon-like leaves. These can bend in the flowing water. In some submerged plants, leaves are often highly dispersed through which the water can easily flow without damaging. So, what we have learned in this lesson, the characteristics of living things. The main characteristics are stimuli, reproduction, and excretion. Then what is meant by adaptation, what is meant by habitat, how various animals are adapted to live in different habitats like terrestrial habitat, aquatic habitats. In terrestrial habitats, how camel is adapted to live in the desert, how mountain animals are adapted to live in the mountain, then the forest animals, how they are adapted to live in that particular area. All those things we have studied. So read the lesson and find out the answers of the textbook. Thank you.